All right, now let's get into adding the photo into these posters. Now I've already took the liberty of going to find my images in Finder on my thumb drive and importing them into Photoshop. When you first get your photo into Photoshop, what you'll want to do is unlock your background layer, and then you can get started. I'm going to turn this into a grayscale first, discard the color information, and then we're going to change it into a duotone. So I'm doing this all from the image and then the mode, first grayscale, and now duotone. And since I was practicing earlier, I've already gone and put in my 293C, but let me show you how I did that exactly. All right, so to put in the correct color, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, you should have a white and then it should be black or some other color. You're going to click on that. And then you're going to go back to Illustrator. We've got our numbers recorded here. And it's 293C. So there's nowhere to type, so please hear this when I tell you this. There's no place to type. You're just going to go to your keyboard and start typing in numbers. 293C, and it'll go to it automatically. So again, there's no blank or area to type in 293C for me. I just started typing in the numbers and it went to it for me. So I can show that with my other one. So if I typed in 2425C, I'm just going to start typing 2425 and it brings that color up for me. Or my third color here, which is 306. I'm just going to type in 306 or whatever your Pantone color is, because there's no place for you to type, just start typing. All right, let's go back to 293. So I'm going to keep my color at 293, hit OK. And right now I've got it with my Pantone blue and then white. I can leave it like that, or I can turn this one black. And you'll notice it changes the background. It changes it to the color in black, so it's going to be a lot darker. For right now, I'm going to leave it darker. Then I'm going to hit OK. Now that's the first thing we're going to do with it, turn it into a duotone, add in our color plus black or white. After that, I'm going to go to Filter, and I'm going to add one of these filters to it. So I'm going to do Pixelate Color Halftone first. So Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone. Now what's going to happen is going to give us this really cool moire pattern on here at these different angles. Each one of these channels is a different angle that the dot, it's going to create dots, and the dots are going to be going different ways. Right now our dots are going to be they're going to be small 8 pixels radius. I can take them all the way up to 127, which is going to be like way too big. Let me show you what it looks like. So that's what it looks like at 127. That's too big. We can't even tell what our image is anymore. So let's go back to history. Let's take a step back to duotone. We're going to try that again. Filter, Pixelate, Color Halftone. So instead of 127, I'm going to do 13. I'm not going to change any of these here unless I wanted to. You can change it to any number as high as 360 or as low as negative 360. I forgot what it was, so we'll say 216. So I'm going to hit OK. We can still see what our image is here a little bit, and we have this nice dot pattern in here, but it looks black and white. That's okay. It's going to look black and white until you put it over into Illustrator, then you'll see the color. Okay, so let's save this one. All right, it's saved. I'm going to go over to Illustrator, and I'm going to do a file place. I guess I should unlock my layers. There we go. Let's try that again. File place. And I'm going to look for that Photoshop document that I was just playing around with. And there it is. And even here it looks black and white. It's okay, it's still in color. And I'm going to click and draw this thing. You can see it's kind of small. I need to cover the entire board here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out and just draw it bigger. So I'm going to hold down my shift key. So my proportions stay the way they're supposed to. And I've got it on top of here. I'm going to move it to the back. So object, arrange, send to back. And then I'm going to grab my black here. And I can't grab my black because all this is grouped together from way back. So I'm just going to do an object, ungroup. And grab my background. So when I say black, for me this is the background. Yours might be the white background. Just whichever one it is, grab your background first, and then I'm going to grab the image here. I need to make a clipping mask. So I'm going to go object, clipping mask, and then make. And what that's going to do is going to put my image inside that background square or rectangle. So we can see that color here is still pretty dark. So I'm going to change that. And the way I'm going to change that is that I'm going to go to Photoshop. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go to Image Mode, Duotone, and change this black to white. And you can see that. You can see our color again. I hit OK there. And then this one here, we need to name it something, so just name it white. And then hit OK. And I'm going to save it here, so File, Save. Now, this image is linked to the one we put into Illustrator, so when I go to Illustrator, it's going to ask me immediately that something's been modified. Would you like to update it? So when I update this, these dark dots are going to turn the same color blue as this is here. See, now they're indistinguishable. And you can see where our image is here within our clipping mask. I'm going to grab my direct select tool, click on the image and drag it around. And you can see I'm getting some other portions of the image showing up, which I want some extra texture. But you'll see when we did that, we lost all the black here except for the word free. I'm going to come back to word free here in a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this big chunk down here, grab my eyedropper tool, steal some black from over here, and there we go. And this here, I want the pattern to show through where my letters are. So I'm going to select my letters and this chunk behind it. And then I'm going to do a minus front. And that punches that out for me so I can see that a little bit better. Or so I can see the pattern behind it better. And then lastly, I'm going to change restricted. Like I can see the top restricted, but the bottom I can't see that at all. So I'm going to grab all these pieces here. and yours may not be cut like this, or it might be, so that this will help if it is. So I got all these pieces here. I'm going to turn these black. So again, eyedropper tool, and I'm just going to steal some black from here, and now I can see those nice and well. And these pieces up here, I'm going to turn these white because it's a dark blue on a black background. It's just a little hard to see. Grab my eyedropper tool again and come over here to this. Oh, I'm sorry, we're doing white. Let me grab some white from over here. There we go, and that's a lot easier to see. And the tickler or the dot of the eye here is still blue. You know what, let's change that also. And we can't forget about the counter spaces. So the counter spaces, we'll zoom in for that. I'm going to select the counter spaces, we're going to turn those black. Should be one more here at the front. There we go. And let's grab the eyedropper tool, make sure our white, our fill is on the front, and then use the eyedropper. So there's one of our posters. Nice and down.
Come on. We'll be in the bedroom.
Okay. Pebbles does enjoy looking at everything.
Come along, dog. Come on, Pebble.
So let's see. Let's get back to, where was I? Oh yeah. So here's our entire poster. And the one thing I did forget to do was before all this was to add these three to the process document. So I'm going to take some steps back. There we go. I'm going to grab all these. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to take some steps forward. And let's zoom in here. So this is with the title words and this is with the paragraphs. So I'm going to show you somehow we can put everything in here and everybody's happy. So I'm going to paste these down. And then I'm going to shrink them. We don't need the Pantone colors here, so let's get rid of those. I'm going to shrink these a little bit smaller still. And you know what? I'm going to make a copy of this before I do anything else. And again, I forgot to put these in here before, or while I was going, I forgot to put them in before I put the text and whatnot on. So this one here is poster roughs with title words. So I'm just going to remove paragraphs here. I'm going to grab these three, take them out, and we're just going to scoot these right on in there. And then here, poster roughs with title words and paragraphs. So I'm going to get rid of these boxes here. Then we're going to move those down right there. Now the next thing I'll need to see is you're going to put the images in, and I want to see all three of these with the images in, and then you can show them to me. I'll open up a blog and send out an announcement, and I'll help you decide which two are going to go in right here for the final two roughs with images. So they'll look, you know, something like that with an image in it. See, and I think that about sums it all up. So be on the lookout for that announcement, and I'll go ahead and stop this video here.